Alright, here we go with another episode. I am Average Gamer Guy, and we are playing some Feed the Beast. So, we've made some progress in this episode, or in between episodes, I should say. I did a whole bunch of foresting. Just to the, I guess it would be south of where I've built my base, there's a little island area. It's not really little, but it's a taiga and a spruce forest sort of area. I think the biome is pine forest, I think it was called. Tons and tons of spruce trees, and I cut those down. If you run into, in the extra biomes area, there are some very tall trees, and there are some medium tall trees, and one of the good ways I have found to cut them down is you go ahead and take some stacks of gravel with you, and gravel all the way up to the top. Get on the top. They're very... I guess I probably should have done that on camera. They're great to chop down because their trunks are straight with no branches, and then they just have some leaves at different places. So you gravel all the way up, jump on the leaves, and then you just axe your way straight down to the ground, and then dig the gravel, and it automatically falls. So it's a pretty cool system, and that's pretty awesome. So we did that. I made a whole bunch of barrels. Barrels are very cool. Here they are. And the way you make a barrel, there's the recipe for a barrel. So you need logs, straight up logs, and a plank, and that makes a barrel. And barrels are neat because let's say I have 20 cobblestone. When I right click on this barrel, bam, there's 20 cobblestone. Let's say I need to put this cobblestone in there as well. Now there's one stack of 64 and 20 cobblestone in there. If I left click on it, it gives me a stack of cobblestone. And these hold a crazy amount. Also, if I right-click on it twice, it just sticks all the cobblestone in my inventory in there. So that's very cool. And it's also partly where we're going to start to make a sorting system. Because the chests we're to the point now where we're starting to get enough resources and enough varied resources that the chests are not really going to cut it. And I could turn these into gold chests and just keep expanding and all that, but it's much easier. I like to set up sort of a crafting area, which is why I have all the crafting tables. Then I'll have all sorts of different resources here so that I can just run and get what I want and come back here and craft it and go get what I need and come back and craft it. And yeah, that's sort of what we do. So that's where we set that up. The one thing that I did want to show you guys is a diamond handsaw. Now there are some other recipes of handsaw. There's iron and the sapphires and rubies and that and whatnot. But diamond, really, just go for the diamond. There are some things that the others cannot cut, and there just isn't a lot of point of not doing the diamond. You're just going to end up making a diamond one anyway, and still having spare, I don't know what to call it, health on the first one you made. So just make the diamond one. Yes, it has health or whatever you want to call that. It will get used up, but you have to do a lot to get to that point. So, what we're going to be doing with that is, when we run pneumatic tubes along the top, we'll be running some what are called slabs along the bottoms of these to stop the tubes from connecting, and it'll be pretty neat. We'll do that in a future episode, but I wanted to show you that there while I was thinking about it. So, what we're going to do this episode, I think, is we are going to try and expand this, our EU generation. So let me go ahead and grab some materials, and we'll get started. Okay, so we're talking about some EU power, and I've got some stuff set up, so let's take a look at that. Oh, well, those were my barrels. That's my barrel crafting table. What was this one? Some empty cells. We're going to need, I don't know, we'll get 16 of those for now. So we're going to need some empty cells. We're also going to need some electronic circuits. So there's the recipe for an electronic... Oh, I should point out. This is just 4 tin. No big deal. Electronic circuits we've made before. We're just going to make a couple new ones. Let's do... that'll be enough for 4. That should be enough for now. Let me actually grab that. And let me actually grab that. Okay. Now... Oh, I know what else I needed to do. That's right, I was supposed to go do this first because it's going to take longer. You need to open up the rolling machine, and we're going to take some refined iron, and it's going to be three refined iron, and then 3 bronze. Bronze being, let's see, I believe bronze is 3 copper dust and 1, 3 copper dusts and 1 iron, I think, is bronze. And you can combine that and then resmelt it to get bronze bars. So you put in refined iron, and then bronze, and then a tin ingot, and that's going to get you mixed metal ingot in the rolling machine here. And we need some of that. And the reason we need some of that, just let that cook up here a little bit. I'll grab this after this. 6 should do me for purposes of this video. We'll let the rest of that run. And then you're going to take that mixed metal ingot over here to the compressor. You're going to throw it in the compressor, and the compressor is going to go ahead and spit out one of the things we need to make hardened glass eventually. Probably need, once I get some more stuff going with EU, we can look at some upgrades to some of these. Okay, advanced alloy. So we're going to need some advanced alloy for me to get a thermal generator, because we need 2 advanced alloy to make our refined glass. So in addition, we're going to need, there it is, 2 electronic circuits, and we're going to need Invar and a geothermal generator. And a geothermal generator is a generator. There's the empty cells that we needed. There's the glass, some refined iron, and a regular generator, which I think I have set up. Is it here? Here. I just need to make a battery. And if we look at that, it's tin, some redstone, and a copper cable. So what I'm going to do is run right around the corner here, pick up these, click this so that it actually makes this last one. Okay, let me throw this in the compressor here. And then I need some tin and some redstone. I don't believe there's any tin left in here. Nope. Tin? Tin. So some tin is there. I've already started using some of these barrels just because I wanted to clear out some of my inventory of stuff. Like, you know, I didn't really need 8 stacks of some of those, or 39 stacks of cobble. I might as well just throw that in a barrel, you know. 21 stacks of this, 16 stacks of clay, 4 stacks of that. That was filling stuff up pretty quick. Okay, let's go here. That's iron. That's good enough. So we actually, where did I stick this? We got our electronic circuits for the most part, so let me do this here. Redstone can stay. There's redstone over here. That was tin, and a couple redstone, and a cable. 7, because we're out of tin. Do I have any spare tin that I can steal from? Well, that's enough for now. 7 batteries should be enough for what we're trying to do here. So let me just go ahead and make a generator. But we don't need a generator. We need a geothermal generator, which a generator is a part of. So I'm going to need some glass. And run back over here and get some glass. You can see why having all of your resources close to your crafting table is really the way to go, and why I prefer that. It's just handy to be able to turn around, grab a couple things, turn back around, and start crafting. Alright. Let's run over here, and we're going to have a generator. Find iron on either side. Some glass. No. Ah, that's what these cells are for, that's right. And that gets me a geothermal generator. Now, what I've got right here is the beginnings of the setup. All I need is the glass. So what we're going to do is come back over here. Do this. That's going to get me 7 glass, which should be enough. So we drop a glass in there, and we get a thermal generator now. Because I have so much lava, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't make some more of those. I didn't do the math and calculate exactly how much I could make beforehand. I would like to make maybe 6 or 8 of them. I'm going to go for 6 and see how that does. I'm a little low on copper. I think really the limiting factor here... Well, I'm pretty close at this point. Anyway, I'm going to see what it is. I have found a new place to mine. It has another underground mine, since I pretty much mined out the other one. But I've spent several hours mining now. I'm a little mined out, so I want to try and get this power thing situated. So let me make some more generators, go through that whole process again and again and again, and see what I can come up with. So I will be back when that's done, and we'll see how many I can get. Alright, so we ended up with 6 thermal generators, although I do need to get a couple other things before I can really put them to use. And one of those things is I need to get an extractor. To do that I need a tree tap, which this is the recipe, just some wooden planks. And normally you would have a tree tap before this because you would need to get that rubber, but I've been getting rubber with the IC2 rubber, so it's been a little different. So there's our recipe. So we're going to take a machine block and a circuit, and then just put our tree taps around it, and we get an extractor. And then I need to grab, I guess it's going to be, well, I'll just grab all that. Now, one of the things when you're dealing with these kinds of machines is you definitely want to get yourself one of these wrenches, and when you break this block, you have to shift and right-click to break it. Otherwise, it will turn into a machine block. If you just broke that with like a pickaxe, it would just turn into a machine block, and that's what you get. You have to remake it into a compressor. Even doing this, there's still the chance that that could happen. So just be aware and be, you know, just be aware. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to. I did that so that I can. So that, can I jump up there? I can't jump up there. Interesting. I guess the chunk loader is a half block. Alright, so I'll just run this to here and then there, and what that'll let me do is go ahead and take the compressor and place it there, and my extractor and place it there. And replace this floor here. And yep, they're both getting power because that copper cable is giving them power. Always good. Down here and put this with the rest of that. Okay, so why did we get that extractor? Well, we got that because we have all of this rubber wood, and I'm about to need some more rubber. So, is that all the rubber? Nope, rubber wood. Alright, there we go. So, if you take the rubber wood and put it in an extractor, it will, not very quickly, but we'll let that run for a bit and show you. It will slowly start to give you rubber. So because we don't need it, I'm just going to go ahead and steal the hopper off of this. And I'm going to stick it on top of there. And if we look, it is in fact giving us rubber. Even though we're taking and extracting the IC2 version of rubber wood, it's giving us the normal version of rubber. And I think it gives you a 1-for-1, or it might be a percentage chance, I'm not exact, I don't remember. But we're going to need a bit of rubber because we're going to need quickly to run some gold cable. And for that, we need some gold. Actually, I can do this here. And the way you make gold cable, and there you go, 2 times insulated gold cable. Just some handy stuff. So we probably need, I don't know, maybe 48 should be good. I would certainly think that would be the case. And what we're going to do, we're going to need... Well, let me get the rest of the stuff we're going to need to go downstairs and figure this out, and then I will be back. Alright, so one of the things we're going to need are some storage, and we've got this bat box. And what that does is it outputs at 32 EU and it holds 40,000 EU. But we need to upgrade that, and we need to upgrade that to an MFE. And here's the recipe. So we need a machine block, and we need some energy crystals, and we need some gold cable. So we just made the gold cable, and here is an energy crystal. It is a diamond surrounded by redstone, gets us an energy crystal. And we're going to need... Oh, they don't stack. That's unfortunate. And we're going to need several of these. So we're going to make 3 separate MFEs. I ran out of redstone. Not expecting for that to be the problem. And you just gotta quickly... the 1.5 update will be nice when you can just disseminate that. Alright. And then over here we have the recipe for an MFE. Let's shove all these in there. And there. So we're going to get an MFE. Apparently it doesn't like... Oh, I didn't have my gold cable in there. I have to do all that over again. Oh, that sucks. Alright, so we've got 3 MFEs. Now I just have to figure out where all this stuff is going to go to be able to supply power to all the things that I'm going to use it for, and where all of those things are going to go. So, while I do that, off camera, I guess? Yeah, probably off camera. And then I'll be back. Alright, so, I think I've made... this sorting system with the barrels will work once we get it up and running, and it's great. Right now I just stuck some random stuff in there. It's great for sorting, like, when you have some automated quarries, or Steve carts, or some turtles, or something like that, which we're getting close to making. And it's great at sorting all that stuff incoming and putting it into barrels and all of that. But it's not really good at handling small numbers of things as you're crafting through stuff. And you need, you have 10 of these, or 4 of these, and 2 of this, and 3 of that. That's where this starts to break down. So we're going to go ahead and explore a little bit of AE and get a basic AE system up, which is... I don't remember what AE stands for. Applied Energistics, maybe? Applied Energistics, I think that's it. But it's a cool storage mod, and we have enough to be able to start a basic setup for it. So this is where we use this quartz crystal and the crystal dust. So here's the basic recipe for a quartz cutting knife, and this is sort of one of the tools, and it'll have a health bar, and it'll get continually used up as we go. So this recipe, 2 redstone and a gold and a silicon. Silicon you get from smelting the dust. And you just put your quartz knife on there, and you get a basic processor assembly. And I'm going to take, I need 7 of those for what we're going to do. And then I need to run over here and take my basic processor assemblies and smelt those. Now, there's one other thing. This one. That is the advanced processor assembly, and that's just a diamond instead of the gold, and you get the advanced. I think that's for this one. No. Is that for this? No. Alright. Well, while that's happening, let me go do the 2 recipes that are up here. Let me know if you guys like the having everything sort of laid out. What is supposed to go there? Ah. Did I not have a recipe for that setup? I guess I didn't have a recipe for that setup. Alright, well that's going to be... grab... wrong chest. 6... and I think it's that. I believe that it's crystal. It might be dust. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it might be dust. Yeah, it's dust. we're going to make some cable. Technically, this stuff can be connected, all these different machines that we're going to be making can be connected via cables, and you can have them running all over your base, and there's import buses and export buses and all sorts of cool stuff. And there's the cable. We're not going to do that. We're just going to have 3 little basic blocks set up just as a basic system to start with. So there's my ME cable. And let me grab my basic processors. And come over. One of these needed. Where did it go? I'm gonna have to sort these crafting tables out so that it's a little more. Huh. Wait a minute. It was for that. Alright. Let me start. So we did that. Now this recipe. That, I believe, is part of the recipe for the... Yes. Which means we need the basic processor, which is what we just got from smelting, in this recipe here. The basic processor. So we need 4 of those. And then we take our storage cells, and that lets us make 1K storage drive. And you can see it stores 1024 bytes and 63 types. And these don't stack. But those are going to be interesting. That's where our items are going to be stored. So there's our storage. That is our... I believe that's the drive recipe. Yes. And so I need 2 more of those processors. So 2 processors gives me a drive. There's our first of our blocks. And this is the controller, maybe? Yeah. And that's where the advanced processor is going to go. And I believe you get the advanced processor by, yep, melting that. So I was pretty sure that's what you did with it. But I certainly didn't want to melt it prematurely. So let's just wait a second and we'll get that. So this is a pretty neat system based on what it can do. Lets you store a whole lot of stuff. And grab the controller. And then this goes there. And how do you make that? Did I screw up? Oh, because it's not the controller, it's the access terminal, I think? Yeah. Is that... Do I have the recipe for that somewhere? I'm pretty sure I had the recipe for that laid out. I guess I didn't. Let me... Alright, what do I need? I need 2 redstone, 2 crystal. Gotta break in some Bondcraft to get my boots. Did I really not have that set up? Ah, there, I did have it set up. There. Conversion matrix. So some more crystal. So you can see it's not super resource intensive to just sort of set this up. The downside is it will use power fairly regularly. So, access terminal. Now, let me figure something out here. One of the other things that we're going to need is... I think I have something here. A basic lever. Now, it does need power. So, I have a couple options. I could just grab one of these and sort of stick it behind it every time. That's an option. It can take EU or MJ power. So, and either of these will work. I just have to figure out what I want to use. And I think I want to use MJ because it's easiest. So let me figure out where I'm going to stick all of this stuff, and then I will be back. Okay. So we've just got our redstone coming right over here. I actually need to... Well, you know what? Let me put it there. And so we've got our controller right here, and it shows us that we're using one drive, one access point, and we're using 9 units of energy per tick. And now those are applied energistics units, so they translate, I think it's like 1 MJ or 5 Minecraft joules is 1 AE unit and 2 EU. So I guess I probably should have used EU, but the transmission, well, I mean, I had it right there. Whatever, it's fine. So that's what that does, and that tells us how much we're using, and it uses that every single tick. It's using 9 units. So that's why I chose to hook it up straight to my power source and not to just a redstone energy cell, because it would drain that, not super quick, but sort of quick. And then this is the ME terminal, which we'll get to in a second, and then this is the drive. And what you can do is you could put these in a chest to get these to work, an ME chest, but this holds multiple storage devices. So I can put all 4 of those in there, and if you look now, those 4 are all, it's like little slots with drives put in them, just like on your desktop computer. And the green means there's space and they're ready to hold stuff. So let's come over here. Actually, let's not. Let's go to put the stuff that we're going to actually use in there. So let's grab a bunch of this stuff. Okay, my inventory's full. So we come back over here, and now this is all on, everything's working great. And we go to the access terminal, and I just say, well, I want to put all this stuff in there. And you'll notice aluminum ore, 256. Takes up one thing and it just tells me how many there are. That's pretty neat, especially because if I wanted to, for instance, find my aluminum ore, I could say aluminum and search right up in here, and bam, there's my aluminum. So if I need whatever, there it is. So this is a great medium for those low count numbers where you're not really going to need barrels to hold it, although these will have barrels eventually, but like pipes and fiber and maybe the shards, although the shards will probably be over if I ever start up Thaumcraft, red power stuff, any of that little things that you have laying around. This is a great way to store it. And if you come over here, you look, you can see this has 237 of 1,024 bytes, and there's 18 out of 63 types. So there can be 63 different types. You can either have one stack with a ton of stuff in it, or you can have 63 stacks of 64. And you can see the rest of these don't even have anything on them. So, I mean, we've stored a decent amount of stuff, and we didn't even touch these. So that's great. And you can look, now it's using 11 units per tick. So if you don't want to do that, what you can do is go ahead and slap a lever on there and say stop. And you notice that it did not turn off. No problem. If we give it a second, it should start to power down. At least it did when it was on the side. Yeah, when it was on the side, it had no problem powering down. Not certain why it's not doing that now. Maybe it's because before I was testing it with a redstone. Huh. I guess it's not going to power down. Well, like I said, we don't really care because we have our power system hooked up to it. It's just kind of odd. So let me actually pull that back out. And you can shift click stuff back out. And this and that. Now when you shift, if you double click, it'll pull it all out. Otherwise it just pulls a stack out. And I'm just pulling the stuff out that is going to be part of the what'll be in the barrels because it's world gem. So let me put the controller, the cobble, and just close up what I did. I can even put stuff on there and just have that look like that. Very clean look. Very basic system. Pretty cool. Alright, so let me get prepared for the next part. I think there's one more little AE tool that I'm going to try and make and use, and we'll see how that works. So when I'm ready to go with that, I'll be back. Okay, so actually I just wanted to show you something really quick. You can see two of these are turned orange, and if we look, that's because this has, while it still has room to store things, we've used 63 out of 63 types. Same thing with this one. This one we've only used 12, and we still have room. This one we haven't even touched. So to give you an idea of, well, I guess I could just look in here. So here's what we've stored in there. Quite a lot of different things. Not a ton. There are some sorting things. Sort by number of items, sorting direction, and then you can view like what's stored and what's craftable. The priority order, item name, stuff like that. I'm probably going to do item name. So just because alphabetical is always a good way to go. Now to give you an idea of what that is, we took some rubber from there. None of these obviously have anything in them anymore. This chest is empty. This chest is empty. Our metals chest and our dust chest. My miscellaneous items chest, the wood chest, the cobble chest, the dirt chest, the other miscellaneous, all my ingots, all my random stuff. The only chests out here that have anything are the monster and animal drops and the plant chest. Everything else is empty. So that holds quite a bit, and we're still not even 3/4 of the way through those first basic ones. And those are for 1K storage. There are also 4K, 16K, and 64K storage. So you can see that they hold, there is just a ton of room, and each one of these bays can hold a different drive. So as I go forward, if I need more space, I could fill these next two up with some 4s, with some 64s, whatever I need. But for right now, those 4 1Ks are really all that I need. So, pretty cool. Now, off to make my item. Alright, so we've got this conversion matrix, which we've made before, which is just one of the processors that we make and put into the smelt, right? Smelt that. It's some basic stuff. And then the rest of this with a lava bucket gets us a vibration catalyst. So let's take that. Now, it's not charged at all, so let me find an MFE, and you notice it says it takes EU, so let's put it in there, and it gets charged up. Now, what does a vibration catalyst do? Well, there's cobble, bam, stone. So pretty cool. I had said before, I had thought the minium stone did this, but it doesn't. What the vibration catalyst does, it just uses a ridiculous amount of power to do it. So we fill it back up. So not the most efficient tool ever, but it does do something that apparently other mods have taken out. So there we go. And I happen to have the EU to do it, so I'm going to go make my rooms look like stone, and then I will be back for the next thing. Okay, so this thing does about 14 or 15, it does 15 blocks. That's going to take quite a while to convert all of this. So what I went ahead and did was made a backpack, and I'm going to turn that backpack into a lap pack, which is going to come in handy later anyway. So that is a backpack, an advanced circuit. You know, I don't know if we've made an advanced circuit on here. Advanced. There it is. So it's a regular circuit, couple glowstone, couple lapis, 4 redstone, bam, advanced circuit. Oh, and the backpack, I guess I should show that. It's just a tin and a circuit and some batteries. Lapis blocks to turn it into a lap pack. Those are 9 lapis and a compressor. And then I get a lap pack. I take that over to my handy-dandy MFE. Alright, so everything is stone now. Looks quite a bit better. The tanks aren't, but that's because they're not really going to stay this. I think it'd be interesting to see if that would break the tank. I don't know if it would or not. Unfortunately, stone and slabs don't change. But everything else is nice and cleaned up, stone looking. I don't know why. I think I need to maybe blow this wall out and make a little Thaumcraft room over there or something. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. So we made some new storage. We cleaned up our house a little bit, except for the parts we can't get to. Pretty productive. So, yeah, pretty good episode. Got a little AE going. It's pretty handy. It's pretty useful. I've used it a couple times. It's pretty neat. I like it. And it keeps using 11 units. It went from 9 to 11 because I added in the four discs. So that's what it's not. It does not matter how much you put on the disc. I was wrong when I thought that. So there we go. So this is the Average Gamer Guy. Have a good day.